welcome back to another Heather Mac Reacts. Today we're going through some Am I the A-hole stories, and if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe because I post 5 times a week, every single week. Now if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into this first Am I the A-hole story. This says, am I the a-hole for telling my daughter to learn being happy for others after she tried to put down my nephew for getting into MIT. Okay, so I'm guessing your daughter is grown enough to know better if she cares that your nephew got into MIT. So, yeah, no, she needs a lesson or two to be drilled into her head. But let's see what the story says. I'll get to the point. Love to hear it. I have 2 daughters, the oldest 17. I'll call her Jane for this post. We're in Australia, but my brother lives in the US. We recently went on a North American holiday, which is where the issue started. My brother's son got into MIT last year. This was massive news, and we're all really proud of him. On our trip, we visited my brother, and they had a party to celebrate my nephew's entry. Jane finished high school a few months ago, and I guess she was feeling jealous/insecure because she had a bit of a meltdown afterwards, saying we don't care about her. This escalated into an argument, and her line of reasoning was pretty much, get over MIT. Other people have achievements too. Where's my due? That very much screams it's your sibling's birthday, but you're gonna insist on blowing out their candles because you're a big brat. I eventually said she needs to stop acting like a brat. Y'all, learn to be happy for others, and maybe she could pick up a few tips from him, my nephew. Maybe you could be better like him, and then we would celebrate you too. This caused some issues between us, and my wife is on Jane's side saying, I'm going overboard. Am I the a-hole? Nah, I mean, I don't know exactly what you said to her because it seemed like you kind of paraphrased, but like, no, she needs to get a fucking grip. It's my brother's graduating from college this year. My mom was having graduation party for him, and it's like me going there being like, well, where's my graduation party? Why aren't you proud of me? Bitch, like you had your time, or you will have your time, and like this is not your time and not your spotlight to steal, so calm down. Let's see what the comments say. After reading your comments, yeah, you are so the a-hole. Your daughter did amazing because she isn't going to a US university. She's the worst thing in the universe. How about you be proud of her instead of comparing her to someone else, you obtuse knob. Okay, Chunky Monkey over here is somehow hungry 2 hours after his last 5-ounce bottle, so we'll see how long this lasts. Anyway, back to the story. I didn't read his comments, so I'm not understanding why this person is saying they're the a-hole, but next comment says, Jesus, you're right. Also wonder if some of this is because he has a daughter and not a son to gush over. That's gross. Next says, I immediately thought that the boy gets the praise, the girl gets meh. And next says, ding, 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 hit it right on the head. Anyway, I don't think this person was the a-hole, but Reddit does, so I guess there's something I'm missing. Let me know if any of you have read more about this story and know what the heck's going on. And let's get on to our next one. Okay, now that fat boy is fed and fat and happy, let's get back to the video. This next story says, am I the a-hole for saying that my stepbrother would get himself killed one day? Thinking if you had to say that, it was probably necessary. But let's see what the story says. By the way, if you hear him snorting, yes, he is a little bit sick. He just saw the doctor yesterday. His oxygen levels are great. He's just stuffy, and we got a nose free to him pretty often. If y'all know what that is, it's kind of disgusting, yet also kind of satisfying. Anyway, let's get into the story. This says, he, 17, has been bullying several students at his school. I, 20, have warned him to stop, that one day one of his victims might fight back, but he didn't listen. Kept getting worse and worse each day until he finally went too far. He threatened to SA a girl in his class. Lovely. Other people heard him. 6 guys, 3 of whom were his bullying victims, ganged up on him and sent him to the infirmary. Black eyes, broken nose, and split lip. Sort of sounds like he earned all that. Yesterday, he spent an hour ranting about how they only got away with it because the girl is a teacher's daughter. He called them pussies for how they did what they did. I snapped at him that he shouldn't have threatened to SA her even if she wasn't a teacher's daughter. And mom said I shouldn't be kicking him when he's down. That was when I told her he deserves what he got and that one day someone might unalive him. She slapped me and I packed my bag and went to my dad's house. Only realized afterwards that maybe telling her he'd get himself unalived might be too harsh to her rather than to him. It's clear she needs the wake-up call just as much as he needs the wake-up call if she's telling you to be nice to the kid who bullies other kids and then threatens to SA them. Update. So I thought about it and called my mom, told her that she is enabling him. Ding, ding, ding. Got really mad at me about that and told me I should be more loyal to my family. So I told her she should tell her stepson that bullying and threatening to SA are both very wrong. She shouted at me, so I just hung up and blocked her. I can't say that I blame you. She sounds toxic as hell, and it's no wonder he is the way he is. I say not the a-hole. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Personally, I don't think you did anything wrong. Your stepbrother is going to get himself hurt even worse if he continues to do what he does. Totally agree. Next says, also he threatened to SA someone. Telling him potential consequences of his actions is far from the line of a-hole. Anyway, I say you're not the a-hole. Sounds like douchebag needed a dose of reality. Those are my thoughts. I'd like to know what you think down in the comments, and let's get on to the next story. Okay, this says, am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to help pay for an abortion, but she won't? Help to pay for her abortion? Are you trying to talk her into it? Is it for someone else? I'm so confused. Let's see what the story says. I'm 19 male and my 19 female girlfriend has been pregnant for about a month now, maybe a little longer. We recently found out last week. Since we found out, I've gotten a job paying $15 an hour while she is enrolled in college. She'd recently got a babysitting job. Side story, my niece. Sorry, best friend is here. She's waiting for her turn to do a video with me. My niece this morning babysat baby Jay for a few minutes. And when her mom, my best friend, told her, you did a really good job babysitting, she said, no, I don't sit on babies. So from now on, I will never be able to see that word the same. Anyway, she recently got a babysitting job that pays $12 an hour, but she'll only work Tuesdays and Thursdays. We are dead broke. I'm talking like no money at all. I recently dropped out to take a gap year, so I'm paying for my student loans from my freshman year. She has no expenses. However, she constantly spends all the money she gets. For example, she buys food and goes out to party and spends money, but she won't let me spend any of mine. Sounds a lot like what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. We both agreed that we would try to split the payment for the procedure, which is roughly $500 to $600. So far, I've raised about $300 while she has raised nothing. She tells me that she wants the baby gone as soon as possible, but won't help with the payment. I've been working 9+ hour shifts almost every week just to make the money, but the moment she gets any money, it's gone. She has zero expenses as well. She doesn't pay for her tuition and doesn't even pay for her own gas. What do I do? Do I raise a certain amount and wait for her to save up? Keep in mind, she wants this done ASAP, so the procedure is easier and the baby isn't completely formed. Help. PSA, I do not need a lecture about an abortion. The procedure is a tough procedure already, and the extra pressure of opinions from y'all wouldn't help. It's her body. She decided to have it, so I have no choice to have much of a say. Sounds like you know what you want though, which I cannot blame you. If y'all have zero money, you have no business having a baby. Yeah, I don't think you're the a-hole, but suspicious about this girlfriend. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Unfortunately, you are going to pay the entire amount. It is not fair, but in the end, it will be the smartest investment you ever make. As soon as it's done, end this relationship, not the a-hole. Yeah, can't say I disagree. Next says, also, I'd pay the clinic yourself. Next says, underrated comment, I would not give this woman cash. Okay, last comment says, totally agree with this statement. Have you seen the pregnancy test? I mean, these are all valid points and concerns that I would 100% bring up to this girl, because if she wants this abortion so badly, what are you doing? What are you doing? $12 an hour, so you save money for a couple weeks and it's done. I mean, seems silly to me. I stay not the a-hole, but I'd like to know what you think in the comments, and let's get on to the next story. Okay, this says, am I the a-hole for ignoring my boyfriend when he asked me to split the check with his family and only paying for my food? I've never been to dinner with my husband's family and had to pay for dinner. Like, maybe that's just the father-in-law I was blessed with. Let's see what the story says. I, female 42, got invited to my mother-in-law's, who is the mother of my boyfriend, David, male 44, her birthday celebration. It came as a surprise since I'm under the impression that they, mother-in-law and sister-in-law, kind of don't like me. I can't say I was super pumped to go, but I was glad to be included. Important, both my boyfriend and I hail from the working class. The difference is that my parents gave me a good life once they had financial progress, and his father refused to offer nice things because he said mother-in-law was using their children for gold-digging purposes. Sounds like a stellar father figure to me. He left mother-in-law and remarried. They are 4 siblings. I have a good career, make a decent salary. He earns 5 times less than what I make, but that has never been an issue until mother-in-law's birthday. Oh joy. First, I felt isolated during dinner and out of place. They talked a lot about family stories and private jokes and lots of manga, wrestling, and bands that I don't know about. I felt ignored since every time I could participate in the conversation, they hardly made eye contact. Another important thing, I was talked over twice. The first time, they simply talked all among themselves and my input was lost. I didn't make too much of it. Second time, I had to start my sentence about 3 times because of all the interruptions and was left to basically talk to myself as they continued their conversation by talking over me like I was a piece of shit. Only Dave took notice and tried to make light of it. Then he went to take a picture with his siblings and stayed seated 3 chairs away. I wasn't alone on my side of the table or anything, but at this point I considered pulling my phone to scroll on it because it was like I wasn't part of the celebration and got a mix of bored and anxiety. We were about 16 people, grandchildren aged 8 through 22 and spouses included. They ordered several samplers, dessert and drinks, especially the pricier margaritas. I had 2 soft drinks, 1 margarita, and my ribs and soup. When the check came, mother-in-law immediately said we needed to split the amount, which meant 8 adults, sans mother-in-law because it was her birthday, would have to shoulder the amount. My tab was way under $100, but I was expected to cough up $160 to $170. I didn't find it fair and told Dave I preferred to 1, pay for my own, or 2, only split the cost for mine, his, and his daughter's female 22 meal. His response was less than agreeable and he basically called me a tightwad. I insisted and his face contorted, don't know if that is a good term, and he low-key hush yelled, like talking in a low voice but aggressive, and told me not to act up. At this point, I felt bullied and told him. I'm sorry, I would like to see the day that my husband told me to not act up because I'm about to act this foot up his ass. Like, are you kidding me? I excused myself and told the waitress and paid a good tip on my own. Hey, she kindly helped me out and I resolved my check. I sat back down and when he found out, his face got red and everyone got silent. On our way to our car, he said, this should be the last time that I embarrass him in front of his family. He's also accused me of taking a family celebration and using it to showcase my financial position, knowing that his family isn't rich and it would have been nice to split the cost. Every time he mentions this, he always makes remarks about how they are hard of cash and they made sacrifices to be there. Okay, but how is it her responsibility to shoulder more of this bill for your poor ass family? Y'all, Golden Corral has great deals on meals if you are strapped for cash. You don't need to go to a fancy place with margaritas and desserts and appetizers. Go to Golden Corral and have yourself a nice dinner. Kind of. But like, not her problem. I haven't replied to any of his messages ever since. He apologized, but I'm no longer confident that he would not do this again. The last time we talked, I said I will not be going to any of his family functions ever again. Like, why would you want to? My friends are divided over this. Most of them support me, but some say I'll be ruining my relationship over money. I don't see it that way. Why would I help them save money by burning my wallet? I'm kind of lost here because it sounds like I'm expected to most only because I'm financially independent. He's never treated me this bad until now, so I don't know if I truly put him on the spot. Am I the a-hole? No. Are you kidding me? Again, I'm gonna say this again. I've never gone to a family function of my husband's family and had to pull out my wallet or his wallet. His dad takes care of that. Again, if y'all cannot afford this nice fancy meal, then I guess you're going to McDonald's and getting the dollar menu. Like, y'all, I am not paying over 50% more of my check for y'all to have margaritas. That ain't my problem. And I don't care that it's your birthday because you've treated me like shit this whole night. Like, why would I help you? Y'all, I say not the a-hole. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Not the a-hole. Splitting the check evenly is the worst thing ever. Pay for what you order, and if you can't afford something, don't buy it. Also, if this is just a boyfriend, it is probably time to reevaluate the relationship and decide if this kind of aggravation is worth it. Next says, soon up on Am I the Ex? My ex-girlfriend refused to pay for the slightly extravagant meal she was invited to solely so that she could help pay for it. I was angry. She reacted poorly to my anger. Am I the ex? Yes, you are. Next said, he said this should be the last time that I embarrass him in front of his family. That was a direct quote from the post. He didn't know how right he was, just not in the way he meant it. It'll be the last time I embarrass you anywhere, sir. Okay, that is all the Am I the A-hole I have for you today. I would like to know what you think about that one down in the comments. Don't forget, we have a playlist of over 225 Am I the A-hole stories up here that you can binge. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.